The day I asked for sick leave. My thumb slipped and I left the H out of, I have a fever. So the text to the CEO read, I have a favor. Head throbbing. I kept firing off messages. Adrian, satisfy me. Please, take pity on me. I really can't take it anymore. Then my vision tunneled and my thumb betrayed me again. Boo-hoo. All I want right now is to sleep with you. 5 minutes later, he answered, can you hang on a little longer? I'm still in a meeting. Clutching the mile-long itinerary that revolved around Adrian, I cussed under my breath and yanked out the thermometer. 38.6 degrees Celsius. I rubbed my temples and texted Assistant Luna, change of plans. We're flying to Eastbrook tonight. Adrian's icy face flashed in my mind. I sobered instantly. If I dragged this fever-ridden carcass on the trip, I'd probably die on foreign soil. Before I arrived, 18 executive assistants had already quit because of him, so I gritted my teeth. Adrian, emergency. I have a fever. Translation, I need the day off. Take Zhao or tan line Assistant Lee instead. I was terrified he'd roast me. I swallowed a fever pill and played dead right after I hit send. I totally missed the missing H. Adrian answered in a second. What do you mean? I almost choked. The man was heartless. What did he think I meant? My head felt split and my throat like I'd swallowed razors. Crying. I typed to what do you think I mean? Exactly what it says. We've been at this over a year and you won't even grant me this tiny request. No credit for all my hard work. We're old classmates. Don't tell me you're going full Scrooge on me. Adrian? I sobbed so hard I hiccuped. Tears plopped on the screen and somehow opened Afterpay. Outstanding. $2. 500. Regret clubbed me. I tried to unsend. Hit delete instead. In my panic I nuked the whole chat. Seconds later Adrian wrote, are you sure? On TV the melodrama showed the second female lead kneeling in the rain. Light bulb moment. Adrian, satisfy me. Please, take pity on me. I honestly can't take it. Otherwise this workhorse would never ask for leave. The drugs kicked in. I got drowsy. Darkness closed in. Fine. Pleading sent. Life or death. Whatever. Boo-hoo. All I want right now is sleep. I passed out cold. On the other end, the immaculate man in the tailored suit stared at sleep with you, and lost composure again. Adrian tugged at his tie, glanced at the roomful of division heads, and typed with long fingers, can you hang on a little longer? I'm still in a meeting. I slept like the dead. When I rolled off the couch I figured my corpse had already been buried. Ow. Groaning. I scrambled up. Feverish and you don't hit the just love bothering people. A white coat flashed by, the hospitals slammed and I still make house calls. Derek handed me antibiotics. Then he smacked a fever patch onto my forehead. Up. Now, we're going in for blood work. Pretty sure I owed you in a past life. Even your fitness tracker is paired to my phone. My dear big brother. Yep. He looked annoyed. Not acting. To keep him from hauling me to mom again. I sprang up. The second I grabbed my phone, unread messages exploded. Can you hang on a little longer? I'm still in a meeting. I'm outside. Where are you? 32 missed calls from Adrian. Cold sweat drenched me as I panicked. The phone rang again. Luna. So you do answer. Send me the room number. I swallowed a shriek. I'd basically skipped work for 3 whole hours without permission, and I'm his only EA. Is he coming to my door to interrogate me? When I stayed silent, Adrian lowered his voice. You planning to keep me waiting in the car? On the verge of tears, I whispered to Derek, leave first. I'll catch up later. I clasped my palms in prayer. Derek's face was stone while he tapped his screen, no doubt tattling to mom again. No choice. I had to placate my golden goose first. Who are you talking to? Someone's there with you? Adrian. I cleared my throat and spoke louder. I'm fine now. Didn't you say business trip? Coming right over. Awkward laugh. A few beats of silence. Then Adrian's hoarse, incredulous voice. You're better? I squinted. Was that sarcasm? I could only agree and rush out to him. The second we met, he stared at my flushed face, too furious to speak. 3 jogging over. I was already analyzing. A workaholic like Adrian must hate sick employees. Back when tan line Lee applied, Adrian rejected him on the spot. Said the guy's pimples proved hormonal chaos and future sick days. Who'd handle the workload then? So I figured my fever had pissed him off at this critical decision point. I ripped the fever patch off and climbed into the car. You're cured. Just like that? Behind gold-rimmed glasses Adrian's dewy eyes narrowed. He studied my fever-red cheeks. You actually called someone else? I was lost. Was the man so mad he'd short-circuited? Of course I called backup. Who else knew my weird medical history and would bring drugs? I checked the time and grinned. 3 hours? Good as new. I didn't notice his charcoal expression as I proudly waved Derek's text, come see me tonight, right under Adrian's nose. Just left. Instant cure. No risk of passing it to you. I didn't finish. Drive. Adrian cut me off. Icy. His gaze flicked to my twisted pencil skirt. His face darkened further. I tugged the fabric straight and forced myself into work mode. The whole ride he stayed stone-faced, finally tossing out, "Mind your appearance." Not another word. Seriously, I'm burning up. Napped 3 hours. Of course the skirts wrinkled. Dusk gathered. I zoned out on Adrian's perfect profile. At 18, in the classroom, I used to sneak glances just like this, except back then he wore a white shirt and a boyish smile. And I wasn't corporate cattle. I was the pretty campus queen and the official Adrian-shipped heroine of the school. In our boring teenage life, everyone automatically paired the hot guy and the pretty girl. So Adrian and I were assigned to every event together. Rumors spread that we were officially dating, that someone saw him downstairs holding a love letter, confessing to me. When Derek came nosy on mom's orders, I planted my hands on my hips. Ridiculous. Pure gossip. Adrian and I are purely teammates. Meanwhile my heart pounded like crazy. A guy that outstanding, always beside me. Of course I'd secretly fallen for him long ago. The vivid rumors made me blush, and I vowed to win him. Unexpectedly Adrian soon vanished from my orbit, dropping every joint activity and MC gig. Word had it his family wanted an arranged match with art department goddess Sienna. I figured he was avoiding gossip. My girlhood crush fizzled out. Who knew he'd end up my boss? At first my heart did cartwheels and I nursed a fantasy. But Sienna became a superstar and kept dropping by the office to get steamy with Adrian behind closed doors. The day Adrian and I re-met, Sienna happened to be there too. HR chuckled. "Little Luna, you and Adrian were classmates, know each other?" I glanced at Sienna and the uneasy Adrian. My quick brain spun. Never met. Total strangers. I have zero memory of Adrian. I smiled sweetly, stressing the word zero. I lifted my head and almost grazed his lips. You, I stammered. Adrian studied me for a long moment, voice low and lazy. "I lift year-round. Is he really better than me? Is this what they call sudden male competitiveness?" I could feel Adrian's, that endless leg, caging me in. I was a wreck. All I could manage was a wooden. His body's probably not as good as yours, but he does have experience. Derek's mother's side had been doctors for generations. Experience came with the bloodline. Maybe it was my imagination, but Adrian's eyes looked faintly wet. He leaned closer. His Adam's apple rolled. Next second he dipped straight for my mouth. No. What was he doing? Before I could shove him away, he skimmed my cheek and nipped my earlobe. Every nerve in me fizzed. "Adrian, I skipped 3 hours of work, so he's punishing me with this humiliation." I snapped. "I can't control physical reactions. If I could stand it, I wouldn't have texted you. And I told you right away. Who told you not to answer in 5 seconds? I rubbed the goosebumps racing down my arms. So what if the salary is $32,800 a month, and every Adrian trip dumps leftover designer bags on me? Who could swallow this kind of shame? I thought he'd kick me out of the car, but he only gave a low "I'll do better next time." He shifted in the seat. "Get out. This trip we're in the presidential suite. You don't go anywhere. You stay in the room next to mine." Star eyes me. "A standard room's fine. Can I cash out the suite upgrade?" Adrian glanced at me. Flat. "No." A minute later, as if persuading himself, he gritted out, "I'll tack $500 onto your per diem." I instantly unfolded the mile-long itinerary that had Adrian at its center. Adrian, 1 pack of spicy sticks with tomorrow's breakfast wrap or 2 buttons, clockwise or counterclockwise. When I do them up, what humiliation. So the CEO's teeth itch. So what? After endless hours of flying we finally reached the hotel after midnight. Only after I'd settled did I remember. The meds Derek prescribed were still at home. I pressed a hand to my forehead. Probably nothing major. Derek knows me. His cures work like magic. Rest a bit. We'll talk project at noon. Just showered Adrian. Towel hanging open. Water sliding from his throat down into the shadow line of his chest. I looked away. He reminded me anyway. "You're not going anywhere." I shrugged. Helpless. Guess my 3-hour radio silence annoyed him. I cleared my to-do list and obediently went next door. The instant I lay on the bed, I knew I was in trouble. Body burning, head splitting, checking the time. Derek should just be off night shift. Not real siblings, but we share a father. I didn't want him dropping dead. I peeled off my fitness tracker and called my best friend. Asked her to swing by my place, read Derek's prescription so I could order delivery. While I waited, I stretched out on the cool floor and gossiped. "I just left your place and ran into your brother." Well, there were shower noises, so I barged in, and I squealed, You saw him naked." Suddenly remembering Adrian next door, I dropped to a whisper. A long while later, rolling over on the chilly tiles, I muttered, "Hard floor, but but feels so good. A knock rang out. The moment I opened the door, Adrian scooped me up by the waist. Rock-hard abs flush against me. You again? I felt the furnace coming off him and could only nod. Yes. Fever round 2. Adrian's voice turned velvet. Try me? I do push-ups for fun. Huh? Still holding my phone, I was yanked into his arms. From the speaker came a shriek. Luna. There's a man. Russell, Russell. Then a low male voice. A man. Luna. Aren't you on a business trip? Derek. Teeth clenched. My guilt-addled brain skipped the real question. Why were they together? And I just nodded. It's my boss. Didn't you say your boss was a heartless, greasy, balding troll? Why are you two in the same room right now? My stomach sank. I tried to hang up, but hit speaker instead. Derek's baritone filled the suite. Didn't you say that Skinflint Pay had an 8-month belly and a Mediterranean hair island? Thinking fast. I waved both hands. No, that was someone else. Holy egg. Adrian's eyes were literally glowing, green and hungry. Derek kept talking, but your phone's contact, capitalist scourge, is him. Right. The one you prank-laced with saline instead of latte? Derek rambled on. I turned to stone. Finally, he warned Luna. Don't dig your own grave. Click, click, click. The call was dead. I didn't dare lift my head. Adrian's shower gel filled my nose. Overhead, a soft voice asked, Mediterranean, old baldy, 8-month bum? Listen to Mike's explanation. I thought he'd fire me. Maybe dump me on a foreign curb. Instead, after forever. So that's the guy you called before. How long have you known him? Is it serious? Or occasional? Weird questions. But I didn't dare lie. We met at 10. Pretty stable, I guess. His mom and my dad were first married. She died soon after. Dad, scared mom would bolt if she knew he already had a son. Changed Derek's surname and shipped him to his grandma. At 10, when grandma died, Derek moved in. He's always been intense, but good. Mom pitted him, smothered him with love. Derek, grateful, repaid her by watching my every step. So I love and hate this big brother. Derek, he, before I could say, scares me. Adrian's eyes flashed red. Derek, the guy you told in high school that you and I were just partners on a project. His chest rose and fell, muscles jumping. I swallowed. Yeah. So you've always been with him, and that night he talked himself into circles. Then let me go with a horse, forget it. He drooped like a scolded dog. I glanced at my phone. Sienna had just updated Starloop, off to see the one I miss. Location, 2 blocks away. Bingo. His goddess just got rumored with some actor. Boss must be moody. Sure enough, Sienna texted assistant Luna. Which hotel? Coming to see Adrian. Heart sour. I still sent the address in record time. Happy boss. Easier life. Minutes later, Adrian's phone rang. Face blank. He freed me and tied his rope. Watching his back. My nose stung. Every time Sienna's on-set gossip broke, I'd race to brief Adrian, terrified he'd be jealous and take it out on us minions. I used to preen. Sure, I'd done good, but I pinched my earlobe. Cheeks hot. Don't dream about what isn't yours. Luna. Adrian strode over. Dead serious? You told that guy I'm a greasy baldy? Fine. But stop beckoning me like a pet. I'm not some casual fling you can toss aside. I stared at the still glowing Sienna on the screen. Clueless. Leak my schedule again and I'll punish you. Little brain clicked. I'm an extra in their lovers game. Yes. Adrian. He still looked furious. Buzz. Delivery arrived. Left at the front desk. I remembered again how Adrian had warned me over and over not to slip out of his sight. I tilted my flushed face up, batted my watery eyes, and murmured timidly, since I'm still feeling lousy, could you be an absolute sweetheart and help me one more time? You don't slap a smiling face. And a big man's heart is wide as the ocean. I added with a grin, if Derek were here I'd never ask you to lift a finger. But nature calls and I can't help it. Maybe I should just go myself. Adrian's eyes snapped open wider than I'd ever seen. He raked a hand through his damp hair. Luna, just what kind of man do you think I am? Then he flung out, furious, you've gone too far, and stalked off. The door crashed shut behind him, leaving me standing there like a windsock in a hurricane. Thanks, Assistant Lynn. I'm downstairs now, watching the pretty selfie avatar pop up again. I politely typed back, no problem. Adrian's got that temper, so I just have to coax him a little. No biggie. He's super easy to pacify for no reason at all. Staring at the unfamiliar view outside the window, and then at Sienna's fresh message, my heart twisted. I burst into noisy tears. If you're sick, come home. Don't push yourself. Luna, when are you coming back? Did your boss do something to you? We ride you hard so you'll stand on your own 2 feet, not so you'll get trampled or harassed. If you don't want the job, quit. My phone was exploding with texts from my besties and Derek. I pressed a burning hand to my forehead and cried even harder. Much later I saw Sienna's newest Instagram post. A man standing in line at a breakfast cart, head lowered, dawnlight brushing Adrian's sculpted profile. He looked incandescent. That was when I finally admitted it. I had never stopped loving him, but he wasn't mine. Adrian, I'd like to transfer back to an entry-level position. I stood, checked the files one last time to be sure the noon meeting wouldn't suffer. The typing bubble floated for ages. Adrian said nothing. I added, if there's no vacancy, I'll submit my resignation. After forever. He quoted my first line and replied, fine. We flew to the client the way we used to, delivered the pitch, won the deal. On the return flight, he rode up front and first. I was in coach. When we landed, we vanished into separate streams of passengers. 3 months passed without a single shared glance. If we ended up in the same elevator, I shrank into the corner and pretended not to know him. Meanwhile, he and Sienna looked cozier than ever. Every time she left his office, her skirt seemed to have changed. Winter arrived. I bundled up like a quail and plodded through monotonous days. Chloe, for your birthday I'll splurge on a male host for you, I slurred. Sienna's big news coming soon post had driven me to drink. I threw an arm around Chloe's shoulder. Didn't you say we'd try that thrill together? Chloe, who used to spam me 8 shirtless hunks a day, suddenly stammered. Let's skip it. I've never liked guys who can't keep their pants on. She coughed, glanced around, turned pale, and gave her own skimpy outfit a panicked once-over. Luna, I just remembered something. Your ride's coming. Go straight home, okay? Then she answered her ringing phone and jogged out of the bar. I sighed and waxed philosophical. I guess loneliness is my destiny. A man in a black coat and tailored trousers walked toward me. I stared, unblinking, until he stopped right in front of me, buzzed. I could swear it was Adrian. Luna. I wobbled my muddled head. Even the voice matched. He cupped my cheeks. The last trip, you ran a fever? His Adam's apple slid. The hotel just called. They found the meds you left behind. Adrian lowered his gaze. I'm sorry, I didn't know. If it makes you happy, I'll give in. I hadn't a clue why he was saying all this. I was too busy admiring his throat and the open collar. Forget male hosts, none of them held a candle to Adrian. So, do you still want to play games with me? He knelt so his head touched my knees. I've decided, the one who isn't loved is the real outsider. And no rule says a woman can't love more than one man. I was a hypocrite before. Is it too late to take it back? By the time he kissed me breathless, I was seeing stars. My phone rang. Chloe. Almost home. Lou. I see your driver accepted. I could only answer with muffled moans. Good. I nipped Adrian's lip to catch my breath. Chloe, why are you panting? She yelped. I'm out for a night run. Then, what about you? You sound funny. Are you in the car? My hand was still inside Adrian's shirt. Yup, I mumbled. Night run taxi. Adrian was a volcano that had waited too long, blazing. Unstoppable. Luna, test me. I can do it. I was wrapped around him. Before we stepped inside, I framed his face. Are you experienced? Sanity barged back. I pushed him away. Aren't you about to get engaged? Unlocking the door with one hand, he pinned me with the other. I'm single. Never had a girlfriend. If you hadn't forced Sienna on me, you'd be the only woman in my orbit. He sounded angry, arms tightening. Adrian, your belt is jabbing me. His face flamed. I'm not wearing one. We rose and sank all night. When I woke, he was asleep. Bare-chested. Profile perfect. I smacked my forehead. Booze and lust are a dangerous combo. I gathered my shredded clothes for a stealth exit. Luna. He propped himself on an elbow. Nothing to say to me? I rubbed my temples. Before I could answer, frantic knocking erupted. Luna. Derek. Jiggling the knob. Why's the door locked? Panic. Hide. I shoved Adrian toward the closet. He clutched my wrist. Pitiful. Is he scary? Sorry for the trouble. Next time we'll go to my place. Derek set breakfast on the table, casually asking, that bald boss of yours been harassing you again? I almost choked. And no. After I walked Derek out, Adrian sat on the bed fully dressed. So, what's the plan? Plan? I blinked. He eyed my bare legs. When are you going to tell him? The thought gave me a migraine. Of course I'll keep it secret. What he doesn't know can't hurt him. My thighs throbbed. I sat to massage them. Luna. Adrian looked ready for execution. You're unbelievable. He rubbed his lower back and left. I sank into gloom. Clearly a classic case of wham bam thank you ma'am. I slid back into routine, chalking the night up to a reckless blip. 3 days later, mid-meeting, my phone buzzed. Which position didn't you like? I flushed crimson and snapped the screen upside down, craning my neck 180 degrees. I spotted Adrian in the corner, stone-faced at the presentation. Seconds later, or was it my stamina? Just say. Be specific. How many minutes of foreplay would you prefer? I've never done this before, so I'm clueless. You're not trading me in, are you? Just give me one more chance, okay? The screen lit up for a single second, long enough for me to see Adrian once. After the speaker wrapped up, Adrian was still frowning, pointing out the guy's mistake. Then he spun around and attacked his phone with both thumbs. "Your phone dead?" When I didn't answer, Adrian stood deadpan. He announced, "Meeting adjourned." 1 minute later, he caught me trying to slip out with the crowd. "Don't go." That low voice brushed my ear, and I couldn't help replaying the groan he'd let out the night he'd pinned me against the door, forehead pressed to my neck. "Give me one more chance." I exhaled, looked him straight in the eye. "We need to renegotiate whatever this is." He didn't want to hear it. He stared at the floor. "Whatever you say." I chewed on it, ready to break the stalemate, when my phone buzzed. "Are you Derek's family?" He left his ID at home. "Bring it to the precinct. Also, we raided a hotel and found him with a young woman. Need you to vouch for him and..." Chloe's identity. Arf. I jumped up, scooter key already in hand. "He dares cheat on me. Fine. He can date, but he should have told his ride-or-die bestie first. And now he wants to be my brother-in-law?" "Luna." Adrian followed. "I'm coming with you." He buttoned his shirt, and 5 minutes later the guy in a full suit was perched on the back of my scooter. "You've got cars? Why squeeze onto my moped?" "Adrian." Winter wind howled past. "Adrian." Yelling over it at cheaters are trash. If it were me, I'd hurry home and never step out of line. Scandalous. Am I right, Lulu? No clue why he was so pumped. I glanced in the mirror at his wind-whipped face and muttered, "Adrian, you're really loud right now." So, I walked in, crashed into his abs, and just froze. Derek knotted his tie, then dropped a casual kiss on my bestie's forehead, never even looked at me. He asked if I planned to stand there all day or actually feel them. My gossip radar pinged. Spicy. Then what? Derek strolled over, checked the fitness tracker on my wrist. Cool as ever, she felt. "Ah!" I shrieked. "Girl, you're fearless, And then, well, you see how it ended. Total accident." Adrian stared, lost. My blushing bestie. Derek drifting between us like it was nothing. And me, grinning like a proud aunt. "So," Derek finally glanced up. "You two aren't..." Adrian cracked a grin, popped open his collar to reveal a fresh crimson hickey, stretched out a hand to Derek and drawled, "Brother-in-law. Name's Adrian." Between wedding prep, Adrian was swamped. Staff kept cornering me, begging me to calm him. Apparently, the man had gone full Grim Reaper. I ruffled his hair. He was still my softie. Only later did I learn he'd swallowed Shaw. Yes, that Shaw, in 14 flat days. He swears he wakes up at midnight cursing Sienna for twisting things, so we lost all those years. The Shaws had bribed half the firm so she could waltz into Adrian's office. When flirting failed, she tried corporate espionage. The day Shaw finally tanked, Sienna was still insisting Adrian's only marrying her to make me jealous. "He'll crawl back soon," Adrian whispered in my ear, "and now you see how nuts she is." Every visit, dousing herself with water. Fake trips. Excuses to change in my dressing room. And you kept bringing her up. Defending her. Handing over my schedule. I figured you hated me so much you couldn't wait to push me away. That episode kept me in bed for 3 solid days. Later, the once aloof CEO found daily excuses to summon me to his office. "You used to sit here every day. Why so shy now?" I shoved him. "Cheeks hot. Sitting's fine. Anything more is not." He yanked the curtains shut, hand circling my waist. Nibbling my ear, I practiced suit kneeling last night. "Care to grade my form?" We'd barely unpacked from the honeymoon when I came down with a fever. "I have a fever." 20 minutes after I hit send, Adrian burst through the door. "Didn't we just tie half off?" He bent to kiss me. "Whatever my Luna wants." I whimpered. "I'm burning up. Feel awful?" Question mark. He held up his phone. My brain blue screened. After a stare down, I quietly typed the missing letter H to cheer me. Adrian wore nothing but an apron, rinsing rice for congee. Bored. I thumbed through his phone. His Quora username caught me. I_dunt_like_women_named_Lynn. Post 1. There's this girl in the next class. Last name Lynn, looks clueless and cute. Turns out, she's brilliant too. Everyone ships us. I'm up at dawn fixing my hair in the mirror. Annoying. Post 2. Lost my voice. School replaced me as her co-host. I'm salty. Let's be real, even if I were mute couldn't I just stand beside her going up. Post 3. Can't sleep. Her face loops in my head. Big move. I started a rumor we're dating. That night I clutched a confession letter downstairs, ready to turn gossip into fact, only to hear her tell some guy it's purely professional. Professional. Mom asked what I wanted for dinner. Dinner. I'm just a professional. I don't deserve food. Post 4. Heart shattered. Post 5. Still shattered. Post 6. I hate women named Lynn. I eyed his broad shoulders, narrow waist, apron strings hugging sinful hips, tugged on the charging cord and rolled over to keep reading. Post 7. I'm CEO now. Making her my executive wife isn't excessive. Right. Post 8. I couldn't sleep for craving her. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Don't think we've met." Emphasis on not at all. Post 9. I hate women named Lynn. Post 10. Sniff. She really can't stand me. Why keep mentioning that troll Sienna in front of me? Where did I mess up? Post 11. Urgent. She just texted she's in need, but she doesn't like me. Do I go? Going makes me cheap. Right. A CEO shouldn't. Yeah. Waiting online. SOS. Post 11 update. Whatever. So I'm a gigolo. She picked me, not anyone else. Post 12. She picked someone else. Still hate women named Lynn. Post 13. So she picked someone. Doesn't mean they're dating. We're adults. Nothing weird. Post 14. They're dating. She lied for him. Called me sleazy. Says she's leaving because of him. I hate women named Lynn. I'm a well-educated man. I have lines I won't cross. Post 15. Fine. As long as we share an office. Post 16. Dating? So what? Side pieces are normal these days. Who told him he can't satisfy Luna? I'm training stamina tonight. One round with me and she'll know. I really wanted an interview. Walk me through the mental gymnastics that let you okay being the other man. Porridge. Adrian caught me red-faced. Raised an eyebrow. Let me feed you. I looped my arms around his neck and untied his apron. Adrian. I swung a leg over his lap. Wanna try me at 101 Fahrenheit? That night he updated Quora. Lynn family pup. Wife says, don't stop. Does she mean stop? Or don't?